And then, why would they? I know you said he's innocent, but why would they put me out over reporting this innocent man when I wasn't there in Texarkana?
So, like I said, you think he called the shelter
I
and
don't know. What would you
put
think?
her out?
I don't. What would you think? Because you said he's innocent.
I don't know if he's innocent. I don't know him. I don't want to know him.
Oh. Yeah, because y'all aren't supposed to know him, but you stated that it wasn't him, and a lot of people know that it wasn't him, and you're not supposed to have ever met him. Y'all did say you called him.
I said I messaged him. I didn't call him.
Oh, because Jeremiah said that y'all called him, and he was rude and angry, and said that he wasn't talking to me, and he basically hated my guts because I had mental illness. So now that my channel has got more incriminating, now he has stated that he hates my guts because I took out a loan in his name, a school loan, which didn't happen because I did not want him racking up debt. So I purposely did Pell Grants. I did it myself. So that's not even something that would be feasible. But he told me in 2022 for the first time that he was angry with me because I took out a loan in like 2016, 2015. I'm not quite sure, but way back in the day. So you have spent all this time in this faux loan and have never told me about it. First, you hated my guts because I was mentally ill, which didn't even make sense. Because if someone's mentally ill, you don't violate them. You stand by them in their mental illness and help them get help and love them. You don't ban and um keep
And okay, but how do you get
ostracize a family member
Okay,
because they're mentally ill? That
but
doesn't sound normal.
but how do you get someone help when they're mentally ill?
First off, if you legitimately love the family member, you don't want them to get identity theft. You don't want them to get stalked. You don't want people pulling guns on them, assaulting them, attacking them. You don't want CPS conning and multiple different false arrests like 16. You don't want people having them trying to get help and people lying to them over the phone. You don't want to be false arrest taking that multiple cars from that family member. You don't want if you really compassionate and love a family member to deflect on all that chaos and then hone into them being mentally ill. You don't want to pick that family member and find out why they were doing good at one point and see, like you said, flipping houses, and all of a sudden now they're living in a tent. And then you also figure out why family members are hanging up in that family member's face.
Why do you think that's happening?
The pickpocketing and the assaults and the attacks.
No,
and
the reason why you're standing in a tent, or the reason why you were standing.
You just witnessed that this location was depriving me of services like a multitude of other parties. And then my job scam. Technical support hung up in my face 5 times, and my job scammed, so I couldn't work there. A multitude of parties blatantly lied, to cost me my job. That's pretty scary when you have a multitude of employees at a job you're working at scheming so you can't work there. If they weren't scamming and locking you out the system to cause payroll issues, in addition to embezzling funds when you did work, and then threatening the police to enforce their crimes. That's pretty terrifying. See, abusers set up things like that.
You said your job was threatening the police?
Yeah, they threatened the police because I wanted to report that I had missing funds and something was going on with my check, and multiple employees lied to cost me my job.
So your job threatened the police. So what the police do?
They didn't show up because they were cowardly. They set it up, and they didn't want to incriminate anyone, so they just didn't show. I waited because this is a pattern. Because I had texts, the supervisor kept calling me, interrupting me on my day off. And was our overtime had to be approved. It was really particular, the overtime. So she called me on my day off when I was doing important things, interrupting me, trying to get me to work, like a multitude of other people interrupt me. But I can't work on my day off. It has to get approved. So how are you calling me on my day off at CPS trying to get protection orders? And she called me another time I had forgot she had called. And she called me at the FBI interrupting. So this lady called me repetitively, and when technical support, I got locked out of the system, knowing I needed the funds. Got locked out of the system, and technical support hung up on my face 5 times, and I was on hold a long time. And she said that I don't start with me because I was explaining to her technical support hung up. So then I went to the group chat because this supervisor kept mistreating me. And how are you going to repetitively call me on my day off, interrupting me at CPS, trying to get protection orders at the FBI in multiple different locations on my day off? So since she kept doing that, I wanted to report her in the group chat, and immediately she locked me. She said that she gaslit me when I was trying to report her, and then locked me out the group chat. which is not protocol at all for a supervisor to behave like this. Her behavior, if she was a normal setting, would have cost her job, as well as a multitude of other employees that conspired to terminate me. So you don't have people conspiring, or other people normally have their job conspiring with a multitude army full of other people to cost them their job. I have texts where they blatantly lied and where she hung up in the head. I reported to her, technical support hung up in my face. So how do you combat that? Me either.
Do you still be on that group message, that cult thing?
What cult thing?
That message, that group that you used to be in.
I don't know what you're talking about. I get slandered so much. What cult thing?
You used to go to meetings with a lot of people on the internet, and you said that it was like a therapy thing or something like that. I don't know, I forgot. But one of the women, you had met one of the women. I forgot that lady's name.
It was several groups. I went to a group for healthier eating. I just had activity on the line because I had issues trying to find a job.
No, I'm talking about when you had Burrow. This is when you stayed in Box Springs.
Oh, that was a codependency group. I don't understand why that would be a cult.
A codependency group.
Yeah, it was for codependency. When you have codependency, when you have bad in relationships, toxic relationships. But I don't understand how these support groups would be a cult.
No, it wasn't that. That wasn't what it was.
That's the only thing I did in Box Springs at that point. The codependency group, which was strange.
And it would be every day at 7 or something, or it would be you would have some time that you would need to get on there, and you would get on that computer and talk to some people in a group.
Yeah, that was for codependency. I don't understand how that would change to a cult.
That's why I said I don't think that was it.
That's the only thing that I engaged in at that time in Box Springs. Now my online the situations are weird.
Hell, that woman.
What woman? I don't know.
Whatever that gothic woman was that came over there to my house.
Gothic woman? I don't know. I have no clue what you're talking about.
You said she was your kid.
Oh, that was someone invited. That woman was strange. No, that lady was supposedly from a church. That was really weird.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
you used to talk to her in some type of group.
No, you are mistaken. If I have an opportunity to tell you what happened. No, ma'am. That lady was terrifying to me too. My life is odd. I've been trying to communicate this to you guys a long time. No, that was a codependency group I was engaged in. Someone referred me to some lady to get help from some kind of church. Then the weird lady came over that I never talked to again. That scared me too. So people keep on repetitively referring me to chaos. That's strange to get nothing resolved. That actually is like psychological damage. Yeah, that lady was strange as well as remember that therapist from MHMR? She was strange too. She didn't render me any help, knew all about all the madness I went through, child abuse, and that I was reported in September 24th, 2011. Told her repetitively.
What was September 24th, 2011?
Michaela had bruises, you forgot? That's why I moved. And I asked you to keep her so I can keep this job, and you wouldn't because something happened with my check. I had a job and something happened, and I paid the baby, the child, I couldn't pay the daycare. So I asked you to keep Michaela and you wouldn't. And then I lost the job because I had just started a new job.
And you moved?
I also moved because of the bruises. And then I lost the job because you wouldn't keep Michaela and I couldn't pay for.
It's not that I wouldn't. I couldn't.
You could have came over to my house and kept her.
I don't know.
You said that you had to get permission to see Miss Sylvia. Miss Sylvia was nice. Why would she not want you to keep my daughter and you were already at home with your kids?
Like I said, it's not because I couldn't. I mean, I wouldn't. I couldn't. I don't remember why I couldn't.
You said that you had to ask Miss Sylvia because you didn't have a job of your own and you had your own kids you were keeping. That's why it hurt me that you wouldn't keep my child and it cost me my job because I didn't have a sitter. I couldn't depend on anyone. I did all these for other people and then I couldn't depend on people myself. But yeah, you told me you had to ask Miss Sylvia. and then you get back to me and you never did. But here's the thing: if you could have kept her at my house if you knew that it was vital
Like,
for.
okay, like I said, it's not because I could. I mean, I wouldn't. I couldn't. If I
Okay.
didn't get back to you, obviously something came up and I don't remember what it
Oh,
was.
okay. Well, nonetheless, yeah, that strange lady was strange. I get a lot of weird things, and she was indeed weird, like a lot of my experiences.
So
But
that's when you met her?
I don't know who the lady was. Someone just referred me. It may have been.
No. Is that around the time you met her?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know the lady.
You had her over my house. How come you didn't?
I'm not being heard.
I met her when you came over Femi house when I was married.
Okay, the lady that we're talking about, I don't know her well, and she freaked me out.
Okay,
So
but
what?
obviously she didn't freak you out that much if you was talking to her then, because I didn't meet her till 2017.
Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. The lady, I don't know the lady. She freaked me out, and if you want to force me to be friends with her, now what?
I'm not forcing you to be friends with her. You just said something about. You said something about that. I didn't. I thought
You said that I was
just,
in a cult, and I get degraded and violated and slandered.
I said that you was talking to that you had met a lady in that little group that you used to be in Box Springs.
That's not what happened, and I'm telling you.
This is what you told me.
No.
Yes,
Tristan told me that basically that I was sleeping with people that I wasn't.
No,
and then I don't know why I keep getting slandered.
Because it was weird to me because you said that she was Michaela's godmother.
Oh no, okay. Now, there was a lady that I talked to named Phyllis in a health group for healthy eating. It was not a cult. Okay, Phyllis was very kind, and she was Michaela's grandma, like a godmother. She got mad when I had met Jason, and got weird and started playing on my phone, calling and hanging up. I told her about Jason, and then she got strange, and when I started doing the things online. But I don't know how you got a cult, a group for healthy eating.
Cause that woman, like that lady that had on all that black.
That was another experience. You're connecting a lot of different occasions.
Whoever that was.
And then someone referred me to that weird lady, and I never talked to her again from that session. I had met her at that time, and then that ended. That never talked to her again from that time. So when you met her, that's when I met her.
Oh.
So you got said.
That's the one I thought you said was Michaela godmother.
No, I don't. When we met her and she was strange, I met her that day and she was strange, and that was the last time I saw her that day when she was strange. But here's the thing: I did tell you that about a whole bunch of occasions, me like my life being in jeopardy and my job conning, and then we were talking about framing me for mental illness again, and we did not hone into all the chaos I've endured, like with the family place that I just called. And they deflected. Every environment that I'm in deflects and keeps me in abuse. So, I mean, the police, if I went to the police department, there's no reason to go there. They do it. It failed. The family place.